Is it crap or is it gold? That's the question that we've been asking for the last week as THW came across our desk. Is it crap or is it gold? Now, I wanted to do this brief training because I've got some bad news. And I want you to hear it from me first because we've been asking this question over the past week. Is it crap or is it gold? So since I've got to deliver some bad news, before we go into the bad news, you know by now if you've gone to any of our training, and if you're new to our training, we always like to start our training off with something that's nice and picturesque to get you to exhale a little bit, to get you dreaming again. And so with that being said, I've got some bad news. What's the bad news? Well, I'm going to, by the way, before I get to the bad news, I'm going to be hosting a webinar tonight. Some of you are watching this and you can register right there for the webinar. And I still want you to see this training. Then you're going to register for the webinar. Some of you maybe are seeing this on a video sharing site. And in which case, if you're at my channel, you'll be able to register for the webinar below. Even if you can't make the webinar, or if you're seeing this after the fact, I still want you to register, get into that webinar list. We'll never send out any personal referral links to that webinar list because any webinar replay, I'm going to send only to that list. Okay, I'm going to send to that particular list. Plus, I've also have some additional training that we'll share with the folks that opt into that list. So make sure you give your best email address. Okay, so here's the bad news, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the bad news. All right, so I did a webinar. I hosted a webinar on Tuesday, July the 21st. On Tuesday, July the 21st, and we were talking about THW Global. Again, we asked the question, is it crap, is it gold? We don't know. And the reality is we're not going to know until the company launches. You know, we're not going to know until people can start to view, and then people can actually get paid from viewing. We're not going to know. All right, so I'm certainly not here to say it's gold. I don't know. But I'm certainly not going to say it's crap because I don't know. Okay, so here's what happened. So I posted the webinar that I did. I sent it out to my email list. I also posted it on YouTube. And about the 36th minute or so, I started talking about committing, that we wanted our audience to commit, to actually covenant that they were going to max out their viewing income, meaning since we can view up to 10 hours a week, that we want to max out at 10 hours a week because the person viewing gets the maximum amount of income. The referrer of the person viewing gets the maximum amount of override income. And then in the 10-level organization, the maximum amount of income is paid out, to 10 other folks if we all commit to viewing. Well, I said to our audience, look, I don't have the time to view 10 hours a week. I've got, I'm constantly cutting content. I'm constantly working on sales funnels, and we're definitely going to build a funnel, assuming that THW is gold and not crap. We're definitely going to build a one-of-a-kind funnel to promote THW and to allow our audience, our following. You don't have to be personally sponsored by me. You don't even have to be in my organization. But if you want to follow what we're doing, you'll be able to leverage what we're going to be doing to build out THW. And so one of the things I said was we're going to outsource our viewing. I'm going to go over to the Philippines, for instance, and I'm going to hire somebody for $4 or $5 an hour to view my 10 hours. I get my $25, let's say, up to $25. I pay them $5. I keep the net, and so on and so forth. Now, so that, and I've been saying that since the first message that I had about THW, which, as I'm doing this recording, is only a week old. Okay, I've only been talking about it for a week. Now, here's the bad news. On my channel, I had a Franz Wilhelm. I don't know Franz Wilhelm, all right? Is that his real name? I don't know. I have no idea. But it comes from THW Global team leader Franz Wilhelm. He says he's with THW Global Corporate. Is that true? I don't know. But he says this. He says, no one can outsource watching. Well, crud. There's my bad news. I can't say going forward, hey, outsource your watching. He said ads are specific to the IV, the international viewer who signed up. So at first I'm like, man, crap, doggone it. That's bad news. Is it crap or is it gold? Is it bad news or is it good news? I want us to think something through here. I want us to think something through. Because if this is just an outright scam, see, to me, you have companies and you have systems that on paper look good, and then when they get into the real world, maybe there's an execution problem and maybe things don't go right. I know all too well how that happens. I was once a part owner of a network marketing company from 2006 until 2008. Great concept, great product. It was a wellness product, poor execution. There were 5 owners. I was one of them, and 2 of those owners were not on the same page with the other 3 of us, and those other 2 basically ran it in the ground. Great product, great compensation system, poor execution. That doesn't mean it's a scam. That simply means great product, great concept, and poor execution. That happens not only in network marketing, in home-based business building. Make sure you come to our webinar tonight, by the way. And if you can't come to the webinar, make sure you opt in so that you can get the webinar, recorded webinar that we'll be sending out to that list only, okay? Great content, so great product. This happens in network marketing. This happens in everyday business. How many great ideas, great concepts out there on paper, but then when it went into the real world, it didn't execute. Now, I don't think THW is an outright scam. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. That's part of being an entrepreneur. Hey, that's just part of life. You know, I'm 45 now. I've made my fair share of mistakes, and I'm going to make a whole lot more going forward. But what separates successful people from those that are not is that those that get knocked down, they get back up and they learn. Okay. So now I don't know. I'm not prepared to say that THW is gold. I'm certainly not going to foo-fooey, because here's the good news from my perspective. If it's an outright scam, why would you even be on my YouTube channel watching a recorded webinar when I didn't even talk about outsourcing until the 36th minute? When I posted the webinar, it wound up being an hour and 13 minutes. 36 minutes into it is when I started talking about outsourcing. And Franz, assuming that's his name, all right, and I've had nothing to say it's not, okay, all right, Franz says, hey, you can't outsource. You can't outsource. Don't say that. You can't outsource. To me, that's great news. To me, that's great news. Because if you're a scam, why would you care if I told people to outsource? If you're an outright scam, why would? And by the way, there's a lot of chatter now. People saying scam. Hey, they haven't asked for a dime. I don't know if they'll execute or not. I hope they'll execute. I don't know that they'll execute. But who's lost a dime? They haven't asked for 1 penny. All right, so now, real quickly. Is it crap or is it gold? Now, I wanted to share this only because I've had a few people that have connected with me saying, hey, I hear it's a scam. I hear that the person behind it was with a company called 3x9 Millionaire Machine, and that thing is defunct, and it's a scam. I don't know if it's a scam or not. I don't know what 3x9 Millionaire Machine is. What I know is that on the internet, people can say anything, good or bad, true, not true, factual, not factual, misunderstanding, outright lie, and it can take on a life of its own. I've got my share of haters. I've got a couple bloggers who just don't, for whatever reason, don't like me. and they've said some very bad things about me. One such blogger, I remember I was on my way. My wife and I were on our way to a trip to Chile, and I saw this blogger saying some just really nasty things about me. And I said, hey, I posted on his blog, hey, listen, you're saying all this bad stuff about me as if you know me. You don't know me. How about we set up an interview? How about we do a webinar together? Let's record it. And you can ask me whatever questions you want to ask me, and I'll address them, and we'll have a recorded webinar. You can put that on your blog, and I can send that out to my folks that maybe come across my name because you're talking junk about me, as a way to say, hey, I'm not who this guy says I am. Well, guess what he did? Guess what the blogger did? He erased my blog post. So I posted that on his blog. 10 minutes later, it was off of his blog. So here's the thing you got to be concerned about. All right. We don't know if THW is crap or gold. All right. We don't know. I have no idea. When someone who says they're from corporate says, hey, you can't outsource, that leads me to believe that there could perhaps be some type of legitimacy to it. Time will tell, because we're supposed to start viewing soon. And then, so we want to view, we want to see how, what are we viewing? Number one. Number two, do they pay? All right. So in any event, I had some people that were sending some stuff to me saying, hey, this person says it's a scam. That person says it's a scam, so on and so forth. And I looked up the person on Facebook that they said was saying it was a scam. And what I saw, and I don't know this guy, so I'm not saying that he is lying or not lying. I don't know if this guy's a good guy or not a good guy. I have no idea. But what I saw was I simply saw on his Facebook page where he got an email from some group called 3x9 Millionaire Machine, basically promoting THW. And what he was basically saying is, hey, the same guys that are behind 3x9 is behind THW. But I don't see any proof to that. All I see is an email saying, hey, join THW with their link. So I don't know who these 3x9 people are. I don't know if they're good or bad. All I see, I don't see any proof that says that if the 3x9 people are bad people, that they are the people behind THW. I see no proof to that. And so if anybody has proof, feel free to send it to me. Simply posting an email, a promotional email where the 3x9 people are saying, hey, join me. That just may mean that they are affiliates. Who knows? All right. I have no idea. All right. So here's the moral to the story that I want to share. I saw another video, a young lady, and she was saying that THW is a scam, and I don't know. It may be. I don't know. It could be crap, but it could be gold. And she was saying it was a scam, and she referenced. She didn't say this guy's name, but she referenced 3x9, and then she pulled up a blogger who is known for simply blogging about negative stuff. And there's a reason why some bloggers do that. One of the reasons that some bloggers do that is because they know that negative news travels fast. I mean, it's the same reason in my email I said bad news, to get you to open up, because I know negative news travels fast. And so what some bloggers do, for instance, is they concentrate just on the negative stuff, and they don't necessarily tell the truth. They're not journalists trying to verify stuff. They just say stuff in some cases. All right. And they do that because their model is the more traffic they can generate, the more money they can charge for advertising on their site with banner ads and things of that nature. And that's how they monetize that. So it was very interesting. This young lady, she was, just saying scam. And she even referenced this particular blogger who is no journalist, who's just a negative guy, and how he lives in that negative space. Well, but that, whatever. Okay. And what was interesting is that at the end of her saying it was, a scam, she said, hey, but if you really want to connect with somebody in a real business, then click on my link below. So the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, it's very difficult to judge the intents of the heart online. I mean, the online is the wild, wild west. People can say what they want to say. They can do what they want to do. They can outright lie. They can tell the truth, so on and so forth. That's one of the reasons why we do a lot of live webinars, why we do a lot of training, so that people can get a sense of who we are, get a sense of our spirit. And if we connect, all right, if we have synergy, great. Follow what we're doing. You don't have to be personally sponsored by me. You don't have to be in my organization. Follow what we're doing. All right. We understand the laws of the universe. I want to get. But in order for me to get, the laws of the universe necessitate that I have to give. I've noticed, for instance, that a lot of people are using our video content on their YouTube channels. All right. I don't put anything on YouTube that I don't expect someone might use or what have you. So I got no problem. If I put it on YouTube, use it. Hey, you want to use it? Use it. Just don't come and spam my channel. All right. Don't do that. Don't be unprofessional and come to my channel and put your referral link. Nobody's going to want to join anybody who does something like that. That's just not professional. Instead of doing that, follow us so you can learn how to market as a professional. So I wanted to address some of the stuff that was going on where someone was saying that it was a scam. I don't know that it is or it isn't. All right. We don't have enough information, ladies and gentlemen. So what we keep saying to our audience is it could be crap. It could be gold. Here's the thing. I'm not going to wait to start promoting it since there's no financial risk until we see if it works. Why? Because by doing that, you could lose tremendous leaders that could be in your organization. I've recruited one dude, okay? And in 24 hours, he had 192 registrants. So if I waited to share this message, then he would have gone to somebody else. He had 192 people personally registered in the first 24 hours, okay? All right, let's talk about this webinar real quickly. All right, so the webinar. On the webinar, what we're going to do is we're going to spend the first half of the webinar talking about TH Global. Maybe you're a new person. You don't know much about TH Global. You're hearing all the buzz. We're going to talk about it from our perspective. We develop 5-7-figure businesses. It doesn't mean that we're right all the time, and we certainly have promoted things that didn't turn out to be what we had hoped they were going to be. That's called life. That's called being an entrepreneur, but that's a reason why we've developed 5-7-figure businesses, because we're not afraid to put our fish hook out in the water. We put a lot of lines out in the water, and at some point, we're going to get a nice fish that's going to bite, and perhaps, maybe, THW is another nice fish. We'll see. Time will tell, and it won't take us long. Okay. Now, on the webinar, we're going to talk about what THW Global is. If you're a newbie, if you first time you're hearing about it, what have you. We'll even address, some people have asked, well, where's the money coming from? Well, we'll make sure you understand that. The advertisers are going to be, if they do what they say they're going to do, advertisers are the ones that will be paying to have the promotional content viewed by you and me and what have you. They're going to have a captive audience. Then what we're going to do, the second half of the webinar, is we're going to share with you that if this is gold and not crap, we're going to share with you how we're going to build out a marketing funnel. Again, whether you're on our team, whether you're personally referred by us or not, you'll be able to leverage that funnel optionally if you want to leverage that funnel, what a funnel is and how to leverage that funnel. And ultimately, we want to show you how to scale this if it is gold, how to scale this to a 6, maybe even a 7-figure business. Now, again, if you're seeing this after the fact, go on and register for the webinar. Or even if it's after the fact, because you'll get into our webinar list. We will not send out any personal referral links to that list. That list is so that we can let you know when we're doing any live webinars, or if we have a recorded webinar that we're releasing to the public, it'll go through that list, and as well as additional training. Now, one quick thing, and thank you for your patience here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, when you register for the webinar, you're going to get 2 emails. All right. One of the emails is going to come from our webinar platform, GoToWebinar, and the sender is going to be the funnel doc. Okay, that's yours truly. I go by Doc for short. All right, you'll understand why I don't use my name, because we build with with our audience in mind, and we cut content that people can use. If I said my name, then people would go and Facebook me and they would say, hey, give me your link, because they hear me doing the talking. I want to be able to use my skill set in terms of training and teaching to impact a much larger audience. Remember, I want to get, but I understand the laws of the universe, which means I have to give. All right, so you can just refer to me as Doc, okay? All right, so you're going to get an email from Doc. This came into my primary folder. Of course, I've blanked out some stuff that you didn't need to see. And then there's going to be a second email. This is going to have your webinar registration link and tell you, at the appropriate time, click on this link and come to the webinar. All right, you're going to get a second email where I prepared a very special training for you as it relates to THW and what we're going to build out for our audience, for our following. Again, our audience, the following, doesn't necessarily mean you're a person enrolled by me. It doesn't even necessarily mean that you're in my organization. It simply means that, hey, you found our content, you find value in our content, and you want to be able to share that that content with others to help you build your THW business. And it's not just about building THW. It's about you building a long-term asset, your list. Okay. The reason my buddy that joined with me was able to personally enroll 192 people in 24 hours is because he had a list. And I want to help you develop a list, a responsive list that when people, when you send out a promotional anything, whether it's THW, ABC, DEF, GHI, that people are apt to open up your email or open up your text message and consume your content because you are providing value to them. And you don't have to be the content creator. You just have to provide valuable content, which is why we spend most of our business cranking out content that our following can use to bring value to their audience so that your audience now starts to pay more attention to you. All right. The second email, it should come from the funnel doc, but I'm using a different email system. And that second email, the from said contact, and I sent this to a Gmail account. It went to my promotions folder. So when you opt in, you're looking for two emails. They both should say the funnel doc, but one of them may say is coming from contact as opposed to the funnel doc. And it may wind up being in your promotions, maybe even in your spam folder. So make sure that you're getting two emails, because this email here, all right, where it says, is it crap or is it gold webinar confirmation? There's a very special training that I have. All right. And the only way you can get that training is if you opt in and then you get that particular email. Okay. So make sure you get that particular email. Again, whether you can make the live webinar or not, opt in. That special training is only, I'm not posting that special training on, I haven't posted it. I don't think I've posted that one on YouTube. Okay. I won't post everything on YouTube, by the way. All right. I only post content on YouTube that I'm willing to allow other people just to freely leverage. My most prized content I don't use on YouTube. And so you want to make sure that you get that content. I'm actually going to be sending a series of trainings to this particular list. So make sure that you have opted in for the webinar, which will opt you in to that list. All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. Is it crap or is it gold?